on Y News. A Filipino detainee in Palu Correctional was reportedly missing after a strong earthquake and tsunami hit the Sulawesi island in Indonesia. House minority to still launch a probe on the viral airport incident, even if OFW party list representative John Bertiz apologized for his behavior.
Mangyayari kasi dyan, tataas yung cost of traffic because it is a little farther away. But what can we do? Yun lang may area na available.
And delayed cargo due to empty container congestion in Manila Port seen to affect prices of goods this holiday season. Good evening. The Indonesian government is pushing to help the victims of a strong earthquake and tsunami that hit Sulawesi Island as the death toll reaches the 800 mark. Let's find out why from Kat Dumaraos.
The Indonesian government is ready to accept international help for disaster relief as they scramble to get aid and rescue equipment into quake-hit Sulawesi Island. Authorities are also preparing to bury some of the at least 832 dead, which looked certain to rise as rescuers slowly reach devastated outlying communities hit by a 7.5 magnitude earthquake and subsequent tsunami waves as high as 20 feet on Friday. Most of the confirmed deaths were in Palu, a city of 379,000 people, where authorities were preparing a mass grave to bury some of the dead as soon as they were identified. Dozens of people were also reported to be trapped in the rubble of several hotels and a mall in Palu City, with hundreds more feared buried in landslides that engulfed villages. Indonesian President Joko Widodo says the government will ensure improvement to damaged facilities, heavy equipment delivery, fuel supply, and better communication so that the rehabilitation and reconstruction stages can begin immediately.
This is indeed an emergency situation. Same as in Lombok, there will be stages, moments, 1 or 2 days it will feel tough, really tough here. The road to the location is mostly cut off. Even the airport is not running functionally. Electricity power plants also broken. From 7, only 2 that still work, and fuel delivery could not reach the areas as there are broken roads. But I have already ordered all, such as fuel. The supply will arrive in 2 days from now, and all heavy equipment will come tonight so we can use it tomorrow with relief aid such as food and clean water. As we know, the airport is not 100% ready to operate, and this will take a week. I was told what happened, and we didn't expect it to be like this. So we hope and pray for the communities and be patient.
Nearly 3 days after the quake, the extent of the disaster has yet to be made clear, with authorities bracing for the death toll to climb sharply, perhaps into the thousands, as connections with remote areas up and down the coast are restored. Of particular concern is Donggala, a region of 300,000 people north of Palu and close to the epicenter of the quake, and 2 other districts, which have been cut off from communications since Friday. Along with Palu, these districts have a combined population of about 1.4 million. 5 foreigners, 3 French, 1 South Korean, and 1 Malaysian were among the missing. Meanwhile, a Filipino detainee serving his sentence at the Lapas Penitentiary in Palu is reportedly missing after the earthquake and tsunami damaged the building.
Kaninang madaling araw, nang tumawag kami uli sa isa naming contact sa Bureau of Correction sa Palu, ang kanilang ibinalita ay tinamaan ng tsunami yung kanilang bilangguan. Kaya yung mga bilanggo na pilitang tumakas para iligtas yung sarili nila. Ang ginawa namin, naisip namin, sa isa lang naman ng Filipino sa Palu, sinubukan namin tawagan dahil meron kami ng telepono niya. Pero patay yung kanyang telepono. Patuloy pa rin yung aming paghahanap para matagpuan kung nasaan din yung ating kababayan.
The Philippines expressed its condolences to Indonesia and assured its readiness to respond and extend assistance if needed. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
On Usiserong Pinoy, usapang Sinserong Pinoy, netizens from all over the country and the world are given the chance to contribute their personal stories relevant to every Filipino. Let's hear from Usiserong Pinoy Salvi Alvarez from Jakarta and Manny Sunga from Surabaya, Indonesia.
Ako po si Salvi Alvarez at nakatira po rito sa Jakarta, Indonesia. Sa ngayon po, maayos naman po ang aming kalagayan dito, awa ng Diyos. At nabalitaan nga po namin ang 7.5 magnitude earthquake na nangyari po sa Sulawesi noong Biyernes sa pamamagitan ng social media, news sa internet, at TV. Ang Sulawesi po ay nasa 6 hours and 22 minutes by plane from Jakarta. At nabalitaan namin ngayon na 835 na ang namatay at sabi nga ng kanilang Vice President aabot pa raw sa 1,000. At pagkatapos ng lindol, merong 150 aftershocks na nangyari. 1,000 bahay, hotels, shops at mosque ang nasira. At maraming nakitang mga patay na katawan sa dagat. Ang Indonesian government po ay patuloy na nagre-rescue, subalit mahirap sa kanila kasi kulang po sila sa high-tech na gamit. Si President Widodo po ay pumunta na mismo sa Sulawesi para inspeksyonin ang mga damages ng lindol at tsunami. Ang Philippine Embassy naman dito sa Indonesia, particular po sa Jakarta, ay madali namang makontak para iparating ang kondisyon ng mga Pilipino, lalo na kung may mga kalamidad at kailangan ng assistance at tulong. Establish naman po ang Filipino community rito sa Indonesia.
Ako po si Manny Sunga, OFW na nakatira sa Surabaya, East Davao, Indonesia. So parang Surabaya, malayo po sa Palu, Sulawesi, kaya hindi po kami naapektuhan. Ayon sa PhilCom President dito sa dako ng Surabaya, si Sir Ed Puentes, kasali rin po siya sa isang Rotary Club na nung nakaraang Sabado po ay bumuo ng isang task po na tutulong po sa mga nasalanta po ng kalamidad ng tsunami at nakaraang lindol. Bali po ang Philippine community po dito ay nagkakaisa. Sa katunayan po, meron po kaming isang grupo ng WhatsApp. Nakasali po ang mga taga-Philippine Embassy. Kung meron pong mga karaingan at problema, ay kagad pong natutugunan.
We encourage netizens to share their personal stories, videos, and pictures and send them to untv.usiserongpinoy@gmail.com. Be part of Usiserong Pinoy, sincere stories from our kasangbahay. Meanwhile, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOC, shares basic information and safety tips for Filipinos following the disastrous effects of an earthquake and tsunami that struck the Sulawesi Island in Indonesia. Kathy Maglalang tells us why.
The Philippines is an archipelago situated along the Pacific Ocean's Ring of Fire, making it vulnerable to earthquakes that may cause tsunamis. A tsunami, according to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, is of a Japanese origin, meaning a wave in the harbor. It is commonly generated by shallow-seated under-the-sea earthquakes, landslides, and volcanic eruption with a depth of around 30 kilometers or less. An approaching tsunami, having 1 meter and larger height, can cause damages to properties and kill people. According to Erlinton Antonio Olavere, Science Research Specialist 2 of PHIVOC, there are 2 types of tsunami monitored in the Philippines. One is the distant or far-field, which occurs outside the Philippines. This has longer lead time depending on the location. Second is the locally generated tsunami, which only takes at least 2 minutes before the waves reach the shores of affected areas. There are 3 signs of an approaching tsunami. These are strong earthquake, loud roaring sound, and abnormal ocean activity, such as noticeable fall or rise in seawater level. If this happens, one should immediately evacuate.
Hindi na po natin siguro kailangan hintayin pa yung warning na ibababa ng PBOLCS. Immediately after, kailangan na po magkusa ang mga tao sa baybayin na magkaroon ng evacuation. Lumayo sila or palayo sa tabing dagat or humanap na medyo mataas na lugar para sa kanilang kaligtasan.
All coastal and low-lying areas in the country are prone to tsunami if a 7-magnitude earthquake occurs in under the sea, like in Manila Bay. It can affect Mindoro and Batangas and other areas near the fault line. PBOLCS says the country has strategically situated sensors to effectively monitor earthquakes and tsunamis. The agency also reminds local government units to prepare disaster and evacuation plans. The UNTV Rescue Department also shares some safety tips in case of earthquake and tsunami.
Ang unang hanapin natin is yung higher ground, na kung saan if in case na nagkaroon ng any untoward incident just like the tsunami, doon tayong mas mabilis na makakapag-evacuate na mataas na lugar na hindi tayo aabutin ng daluyong ng tubig.
Kathy Maglalang, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
2 people have been killed after a powerful typhoon struck Japan. Typhoon TRAMI made landfall on Sunday near the western city of Osaka with gusts of up to 216 kilometers per hour. The storm caused a widespread disruption with many flights and trains canceled. More than 750,000 homes lost power and at least 120 people were injured. The typhoon comes less than a month after the country's strongest storm in 25 years hit western Japan. The Philippine Foreign Affairs Department is checking on the condition of the members of the Filipino community after Typhoon TRAMI battered western Japan. And so far, there are no reports of injuries or casualties among the estimated 4,760 strong Filipinos in Okinawa and Wakayama prefectures and Shikoku Island. Meanwhile, prices of goods are expected to increase this holiday season, brought about by delay in the deliveries of goods. Monokson will tell us why, exclusive.
The congestion of empty containers in the Manila port area is now causing the delay of the deliveries of certain goods. This is according to the notices of delay that the UNTV News team was able to acquire copies of from shipping lines. The Philippine Ports Authority said container traffic in the Manila port area has increased by 9%. Or 4.3 million 20-foot equivalent units because of domestic trade, while container traffic due to foreign trade increased or 2.5 billion TEUs. And the result, a congestion of thousands of empty containers in the Manila port area and Kamanava. The Association of International Shipping Lines, or AISL, said this is a problem during bear months because imports also increase. AISL said there is no way to increase the capacity of the container yard in Metro Manila. A container yard had been built in Bulacan, but this is too far from truckers that deliver products.
Ang mangyayari kasi dyan, tataas yung cost of trucking because it is a little farther away. But what can we do? Yun lang ang may area na available. As of now kasi, talagang wala na lugar doon sa mga existing locations.
Truckers say that they cannot use their trucks because it takes 5 days before shipping lines get their empty containers.
Magtataas po kami dahil sa sitwasyon nga po na isang biyahe hanggang 2 biyahe na lang po kami. Mamamatay po kami dito.
In Navotas, piles of empty container are stacked as high as a 5-story building. The Bureau of Customs said all the container yards in Metro Manila are fully utilized. That is why they will penalize shipping lines that will not retrieve their empty containers within 90 days. Boxes left will be declared abandoned and will be confiscated.
If they have not evacuated it from the Philippines within that period, then we will collect the duties and taxes that are due to them and consider them as imported goods na.
Supermarket owners admit that they cannot do anything but to just wait for the effect of the congestion on the prices of goods.
Kami, walang strategy, walang may tutulong. Naghintay lang kami bumagsak sa amin, ma-deliver sa amin. We don't pick up. Lahat ng produkto ng supermarket is delivered.
CUA said there will surely be price adjustments because of the increase in the delivery costs, but they will assure that there will be enough supplies for the consumers to buy.
Di baling mahal, I'm willing to pay. Kaysa naman wala.
Ana is gradually buying food for the holiday because prices might go up.
Bumibili na nga ako paunti-unti. Nung nag-start na ako. Bakit? Baka biglang tumaas. Itataas nga naman daw nila ang ano eh. Oo, kasi syempre yung budget natin.
The Trade Department confirmed that manufacturers have expressed their plans to apply for a price hike. Aside from the effects of the congestion in the port area, the pending price hike application will also affect prices of goods.
Tingnan natin kung masyadong malaki yung increase at hindi naman justified kasi ang raw materials noon alam rin namin kung tumaas talaga o hindi, but of course we'll have to consider the causes ng pagtaas ng presyo for 2018.
The government's solution to lower prices is to import products, but consumers believe that the congestion will just make this solution ineffective. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Senior citizens can get free rides on the LRT2 and MRT3 this week in observance of the Elderly Filipino Week. From October 1 to 7, senior citizens would not be charged for train rides in MRT from 5:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. and in LRT from 7 to 9 in the morning and at 5 in the afternoon to 7 in the evening. Senior citizens just need to present a senior citizen card or any ID bearing their birth date to avail of the free ride. A video of a baby who was surprised over his father's transformation trends online. Leslie Longbowen tells us why.
Wouldn't agree that babies have the cutest reactions. Recently, a video of a father and a baby trended online because of the baby's shock over his father's transformation. 22 months old baby Jacob grew up seeing his father with a beard. Until one day, the father decided to shave his facial hair.
Isingin mo si tatay. Dito sa side mo. Wow! Tatay! Tatay! Ay, tatay ako!
May napanood kasi akong video sa sa YouTube na may sa social media na may foreign mag-ama na foreigner na nagputol din ng balbas yung naglalaro sila ng peekaboo, tapos nagulat yung bata kasi yung pang-apat na pagkita ng bata is putol na yung balbas ng tatay. So umiyak yung bata.
In the video, the child could not recognize the father even until the end of the video. It took the Adrian hours of trying to show Jacob that he is indeed his father. A psychologist explains the child reacted that way because his father's new look was different from the image he associated with his dad.
It could have been well developed na whenever the child would call Papa, ganong image yung napepresent sa kanya. So, the association is already locked. The child would, of course, be very, very surprised to look at a father without the hair.
The video has already gained 2.2 million views and over 8,000 reactions. Leslie Longbowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Up next on One News. Another round of pump price hike looms this week.
We are on track in salvaging our deteriorating country from becoming a narco state, or a state held hostage by the rich and powerful who ignore the plight of the poor, powerless, and marginalized, or worse, both.
DFA Secretary Cayetano tells UN Assembly that the Philippines' war on drugs has been an effective way in addressing deterioration in the society. And DOJ Justice Boosters bags first victory at the UNTV Cup Season 7. Thank you for keeping me company in the first part of One News. More reasons behind the stories with William Thio and Angelo Castro III after this quick break. I'm Rheena, Villamor-Camara. Good evening.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Rheena Villamor-Camara left off. I am William Thio. Here are the headlines.
Hindi siya nakikita natin threat as of this time, but it can be a concern.
PNP not discounting the information on the alleged Red October plot, though it is yet to monitor any terror threats in militant protests set on October 17. A legal expert says Makati Court Judge Alameda committed abuse of authority and gross ignorance of the law for his decision to issue a warrant and revive the case against Senator Antonio Trillanes. Malacanang believes the recent statement of President Duterte on extrajudicial killings cannot be used as ground for another impeachment complaint. Oil firms are poised to impose another round of price increase this week. Beginning Tuesday at 6 a.m., the price of diesel will hike by 1 peso and 30 centavos per liter and gasoline by 1 peso per liter. Kerosene prices will also have an upward adjustment by 1 peso and 10 centavos. Oil companies also announced price hike on liquefied petroleum gas or LPG on Monday. Petron Gasul imposed a 2 peso and 35 centavos per kilogram or 26 pesos increase on each 11 kilogram cylinder of LPG. The company also announced a 1 peso and 30 centavo price increase on each liter of auto LPG. Solane Gas also added more than 2 pesos in each kilogram of LPG, while Eastern Petroleum with 2 pesos and 30 centavos for each kilogram of EC gas. Meanwhile, the Malacanang believes that the recent statement of President Rodrigo Duterte on extrajudicial killings cannot be used as a ground for an impeachment complaint against the chief executive. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
President Rodrigo Duterte's remark that his only sin is extrajudicial killings cannot be used as basis for another impeachment complaint against the president. This is the response of Malacanang to former College Law Dean Antonio Lavinia, who said that the president's supposed EJK admission is a culpable violation of the Philippine Constitution. Lavinia also said that this can bolster the complaint against Duterte before the International Criminal Court. According to presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, the chief executive's remark cannot be considered an admission of crime because Duterte did not directly say he killed someone. Roque also challenges Lavinia to file an impeachment complaint against Duterte using this statement as basis.
Let him start. He cannot vote because he's not a member of Congress, and I'm sure it will also be dismissed by Congress, not because it's a political process, but because it's utterly bereft of merit.
Roque also says that the term extrajudicial killings is a misnomer, stressing that there is no EJK crime under the domestic and international law.
I'd like to emphasize that there is actually no crime under both domestic law or international law as EJK. In fact, this is a misleading term because killing in our constitution and in our laws is never legal, so there is no such thing as extrajudicial killings. No? So it's either a lawful killing or an unlawful killing.
The palace official also notes that Duterte's statement on EJK cannot be used as evidence before the ICC because there is no pending preliminary investigation against the Philippines. And as a lawyer, Roque also refuses to accept the argument of others that the ICC should exercise jurisdiction over the country because the judicial system here is still working. Rosa Licoz, UNTV, News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano tells United Nations General Assembly in New York that the war on drugs of the Duterte administration has been an effective way in addressing deterioration in the Philippine society. Bernard Dadis tells us why.
Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano justified the Duterte administration's war on drugs in his speech at the United Nations General Assembly in New York, USA. Cayetano said the government's campaign against illegal drugs amid mounting criticism has been an effective tool in treating the Philippine society from deterioration.
We are on track in salvaging our deteriorating country from becoming a narco state or a state held hostage by the rich and powerful who ignore the plight of the poor, powerless, and marginalized, or worse, both.
Cayetano assured the Assembly of Nations that human rights still prevail in the Philippines. In fact, he said reforms had been imposed towards the protection of the public's human rights, both Filipinos and foreign nationals. However, Cayetano stressed that the Philippine government will prioritize protection to law-abiding citizens and law enforcers than drug lords and criminals.
The Philippines, under the leadership of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, is one with the United Nations in being uncompromising on the issues of rule of law, just and equitable peace that leads to order, development, and prosperity, and the protection of each and every human being's rights.
Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
In other news, the Philippine National Police, or PNP, will deploy policemen in and around the site of protests set to be staged by militant groups on October 17. The PNP is also not discounting the information provided by the military on the alleged Red October plot, though it is yet to monitor any terror threats. Asher Kadapa Jr. tells us why.
The Philippine National Police have yet to monitor any threat of terrorism days before the conduct of a protest on October 17. PNP Chief Director General Oscar Albayalde says the event is expected to be an ordinary protest action, although their military counterparts said they have monitored a threat from the New People's Army which aims to sabotage the Red October rally and link it to the communists' outer plot against President Rodrigo Duterte.
Hindi siya nakikita natin threat as of this time, but it can be a concern.
Nevertheless, Albayalde says they do not discount the information provided by the military, which the president himself has mentioned. In line with this, the PNP will deploy policemen in and around the protest site for the protection and safety of the participants.
I think there's a basis for that, and there's a basis for the statement of the president. Remember, the president has unlimited access to information. Hindi lang yung Philippine National Police. No? There's a reason for this.
In view of the Red October plot, the PNP chief advises the public, especially factory workers who are commonly enticed to join, not to participate in the protests for their safety.
Kaya yung ating mga nagtatrabaho sa mga factories, sa mga malalaking factories, wag po tayong maniwala, no? Dahil tayo rin ang mawawalan ng trabaho. Pag nawalan tayong trabaho, lalaking ang ating problema.
Last week, AFP Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations Brigadier General Antonio Parlade announced that the leftist groups are planning to stage a series of mass protest actions between October 11 and 17, which will be followed by a Lakbay Lumad Europe movement in November. These events are a prelude to the 50th founding anniversary of the Communist Party of the Philippines, or CPP-NPA, in December, according to Parlade. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Meanwhile, the Armed Forces of the Philippines is urging the Senate to extend the detention period of suspected terrorists under the Anti-Terrorism Bill. From the current 36 hours, the AFP wants to extend it to 30 days to give more time for the military to conduct a thorough investigation. The month-long period of detention will also allow the military to gather counterintelligence to prevent possible subsequent attacks.
And because of our limitations in holding the suspected bombers, we have a belief that he is really a bomber, but because of the mere suspicion cannot make him detained. The law really does not really help the security forces to really do the job.
The Judicial Bar Council announces the names of candidates for the vacant position of Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. The shortlist includes Court of Appeals Justices Japar Di Maampao, Ramon Garcia, Manuel Barrios, Apolinario Bruselas Jr., Rosemary Carandang, Edgardo de los Santos, and Ramon Paul Hernando. Amy Lazaro Javier, and SC Court Administrator Jose Maidas Marquez. The JBC, meanwhile, continues to accept applications and nominations for the top magistrate post, which is set to be vacated by retiring Chief Justice Teresita de Castro. De Castro, who only served for less than 2 months, will leave her post on October 10 after she reaches the mandatory retirement age of 70 on October 8. And in other news, the House Minority Leadership will ask for an investigation over the viral airport video of ex-OFW party list representative John Bertis, who in turn has apologized for his behavior. Grace Casin will tell us why.
House Minority Leader Danilo Suarez will file an ethics complaint against ex-OFW party list representative John Bertis if no one outside party will do so, following an airport incident that was captured on video last Saturday and had gone viral. Netizens denounced Bertis' video where he was seen refusing to remove his shoes at an airport security checkpoint. Bertis then confronted a security checker who approached and advised him to remove his shoes. The lawmaker then pulled the ID of the officer and walked away.
Marami na nga yung nag-a-adapt na lumalabas na issue. That's precisely the reason why we had to call for a deeper investigation on this issue.
Bertis said he respects and welcomed the investigation that will be conducted with regard to the issue. He also apologized to the public of his behavior.
And I'm very much willing and open whatever investigation nakapanood po ng video, and I'm really sorry. I shouldn't act that way.
The lawmaker then voiced out his concern about the death threats that he has receiving since the incident.
You don't have the right to live, you don't represent us, you will go to hell. Tapos doon po sa social media, pag nakita kita, papatayin kita at gugulping kita, yung mga ganun po.
Bertis, however, denied that he was expelled from the ex-OFW party, saying the resolution has been floating in social media that was signed by a certain Feliciano Adorna was fake. He underscored that it was in fact Adorna that was expelled from the party after introducing himself as a congressman and soliciting money in government offices. Bertis added that Adorna is now facing cases of large-scale estafa, usurpation of authority, and misrepresentation.
And we were able to get reports also from some congressman offices that this person is soliciting money and project or whatsoever using this letter.
Congressman Bertis admits he learned his lesson after the incident, that he should be patient as a public official. He then asked public not to include his family on the issue and promised to continue his duty of helping OFWs. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
The Department of Agriculture, Food Masters, and Malacanang PSC Camao are now sharing the top spot in Group B with NHA Builders after gaining another victory in the ongoing UNTV Cup Season 7 eliminations. The DOJ Justice Boosters also enter the win column after overcoming highs and lows in a match against the GSIS Furies. Bernard Dadis tells us why.
The DOJ Justice Boosters bagged its first victory of the season after handing GSIS Furies its second defeat, 71-65, in a roller coaster ride match at the Pasig City Sports Center on Sunday. Jose Marie Villegas, Justin R.B. Lopez, and Linzer Paulo Lagunsad combined their efforts to secure the win for the Justice Boosters. Villegas scored 15 markers, 13 boards, 3 steals, and 6 squats, while Lopez finished with 13 points and Lagunsad contributed 11 points. Malacanang PSC Camao meanwhile stunned the two-time champion Judiciary Magis in a championship-caliber game, 74-70. Eric De La Cuesta received the Best Player of the Game award after bucketing 20 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals.
Noong unang first quarter pa lang hanggang fourth, kaya nakuha namin yung panalo kasi maganda yung depensa namin.
The Judiciary said they ran out of steam to maintain their third quarter edge.
Pero maganda naman ang nilaro. Yun lang, yung batang endgame lang, medyo bumigay.
The The Department of Agriculture Food Masters also claimed their second win of the season after dominating over the Ombudsman Dropbusters 85-67. Henry Fernandez, who scored 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist, bagged the Best Player of the Game award, while Sherwin Silva contributed 15 points and Emerson Oreta with 14 markers. DA and Malacanang now both hold 2-0 win-loss record, sharing the top spot in Group B with NHA Builders. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
And those are the reasons behind the stories in the second part of our newscast. Y News returns with Angelo Castro III. I am William Thio. Good evening.